All right. I want you to take a moment to review Part C of the CA3 control requirement on your own. See if you can translate it into your own words and draft an implementation statement for it. That's right, I want to put you to work this time. Take your time. Are you ready? Here's my interpretation of the security control. Hopefully yours is similar. DOP reviews and updates their interconnection security agreement on a recurring basis. For example, every year, every other year, etc. Now I want you to think about what questions you would ask or what actions you would take to determine how DOP complies with this control requirement. Take your time. I'll wait. Okay, here's my answer. If I didn't have access to the information I seek, I would ask a manager or perhaps a system owner the following questions. What external system is HopeNet interconnected with? Do we have an agreement in place for HopeNet to connect with those external systems? Who reviews the interconnection agreement? Who updates the interconnection agreement? How often do you want us to review and update the ISA document? If I already have access to the ISA document, I will read it to determine if the answers to the questions above are already addressed. If there are questions unanswered by the document, I will ask the personnel I think may know the answer. Going by my steps for writing a good implementation statement, I have completed the first two steps, understanding the control requirement and asking the right questions. The final step is to gather the information collected to draft my implementation statement. Let's say I received the following answers for my questions. What system is HopeNet interconnected with? The answer, we're only interconnected with DHS. Do we have an agreement in place for HopeNet to connect with those external systems? The answer I received was yes, we have an interconnection security agreement in place. Who reviews the interconnection security agreement? The answer I received was that our ISO is responsible for leading the review for our ISA. System owner, ISSM, and authorizing official provide input. The authorizing official signs it to make it official. For my next question, who updates the interconnection agreement? The answer I received was the ISO updates the document and the authorizing official signs it. And the last question, how often does this review and update take place? The answer I received was it is reviewed every year. Updates are only made if changes are necessary. I want you to review these answers that I just posted, and I want you to write your own implementation statement if you were the one that collected the information. All right, I'll wait. You ready for my statement? Here it is. DOP has an interconnection security agreement for its interconnection with DHS Net. This agreement is reviewed annually by the ISO, the system owner, the ISSM, and the authorizing official. If a change is required, the ISO would make necessary changes and the authorizing official will approve the document with a signature. Now, your statement will not match mine word for word, unless you're a mind reader or we just think alike. But as long as your statement is detailed enough to address a control requirement, you are #winning. That is all the implementation statement practice we will do for now. I know we did quite a few. The reality is there are a lot of security controls, which means you will need to write many implementation statements as a security analyst. This also means you will need to ask a lot of questions and break down a lot of security requirements so that you can understand them. Practice makes perfect. Alright everyone, so far you should be able to complete RMF Step 0 with the exception of Task P7. You should also know how to complete RMF Step 1, Security Categorization. You should know how to complete RMF Step 2, Selecting Security Controls and tailoring them. And finally, we just ran a tour through RMF Step 3, Implementing Security Control. I want you to understand that after you complete RMF Step 1 through 3, you should be able to generate a System Security Plan, SSP. The first half of an SSP will contain details about your system. A lot of the first half will come from RMF Step 0, Step 1, and Step 2. The second half of your SSP will contain the implementation statement for all your applicable security control, RMF Step 3. Before we move on to RMF Step 4, let's complete an actual SSP, shall we? That will be cool, right? Now, if you don't want to, go ahead and skip over to RMF Step 4. That's fine. But those that are excited to do so, let's do it as if we were a real federal agency. I call it simulation mode. As I mentioned before, a lot of organizations use GRC tools like CSAM, Archer, Emacs. You simply enter all the information like security categorization level, upload documents like your BIA, tailor your security control by clicking out inherited controls and writing your implementation statement in the appropriate fields. Once all this is done, you click a button to generate your SSP and boom, you're ready for RMF Step 4. Now, these tools cost a lot to purchase. Unless you want to gift me about $60,000 a year, I'm going to show you how to draft an SSP using a good old-fashioned Word document. I hope you're excited. Get ready. See you in the next one.